Hey, excuse me. Hey, what's up, universe? It is 12:56 p.m. on Saturday, May 6th, 2023. I don't know how this Yeah, sorry about that. I don't know how this room sounds on the audio. Um, so a funny thing happened last night. I hung out with my buddy Jacob, and we hung out until I don't know, it was probably like 2 in the morning, somewhere around then. And we hung out with um, another past master from another lodge. So it was just the three of us hanging out, and it was a good time. And it was funny because we were talking about some things regarding the lodge, and there were a couple of times when I was joking. I was joking and not joking at the same time. I was being the things that we were talking about, and I don't want to get into too much detail, but like the thing I was saying was like, you don't give people a choice, because if you give people choices, then they're going to choose the path of least resistance most of the time. It's understandable, like we are bags of water, and water chooses the path of least resistance. We're also electromagnetic, and electricity chooses the path of what was it, least in induction or something like that. So we have a couple things going on where the path of least resistance is kind of what we choose to do. Anyway, one of my point is that the energy that I had when I spoke this, like, you don't give people choices. It was very, very, very firm. It's like what I believed. It was very like a boundary, right? It was a very defined energy. So what's funny about that is that I ended up, okay, so today, like Saturday, there's what was it? There's some Masonic education going on with some of the stuff that we do in the lodge. And Jacob was like, hey, this is going on. Like, love to see you there. And I was like, we'll see. Yeah, it's not like I had anything else going on today, but I'm still, I don't know, right? So it's hilarious because I leave my phone in Jacob's car. So I'm telling like Jacob while we're hanging out, I'm like, you don't give guys a choice, right? You don't give them a choice. And then Jacob's like, hey, you coming to this thing tomorrow? I'm like, I don't know. I'm not in a house. I'm a very transient person right now. And Jacob has no way of getting that phone back to me unless I go to the Masonic education. That's like the only common place that we know for a fact we could potentially see each other. So I didn't have a choice. If I wanted my phone back today, I would need to go there. So I went there and hung out and saw some guys I haven't seen in a while, and it was good. There's still stuff coming up that I'm processing. What I'm finding is that I love all the guys there. There's and yet at the same time there's an energy present, and so I'm obviously the common denominator here, right? So I am working on identifying what it is inside of me that isn't relating well to some of the energy that I'm picking up. How do I change my relationship to this kind of energy? And when I say this kind, I'm so sensitive and keen on my own language and how I speak to people. And I'm not an angel, you know what I mean? It's just something that I really pay attention to, though. So I am pretty mindful. So I have changed my language patterns, and I have changed how I speak to some people and the words that I use. Like, I have shifted that. So since that's a real big focus of mine, it's very apparent to me when it's not a focus of other people, which is like everybody. So that's what I'm talking about. I'm the common denominator, and there's something about that experience when I experience, spoken words, energy from one person to another when I witness these things, and it's not coming from a place of being aware around that kind of, around language and tone and energy and vibration, like when that's just not part of the communication equation, I find that I have a difficult time with that. There's things that just really turn me off from that, so obviously that's my thing. And so I'm just recognizing that and looking to see what that's about. Where does that come from? What is it inside of me? What is it about? How am I relating to that? What's causing this relationship to exist inside of me, to relate to those experiences that way? So again, like, it's not about how do I change the outside. The outside is never the problem for me. It's whatever, like, that's outside of me. It's really rather inconsequential in a way, because it's just really a reflection back to me on what's going on inside. So there's that. But that's what I got. I'm hanging out at the library right now, and I am just processing emotion. Some emotion came up when I left the Masonic education. I cried some, and it has to do with my ex-wife, because of like just memories that came up, because I drove past like an Airbnb in Kansas City that we stayed in back in like December of 2021. Yeah. And that was a big genesis. It was another big genesis point. It was a turning point in the relationship positively. And there's stuff that comes up around that. So anyway, I'm going to go. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being part of the journey. All right, I love you guys. I'll talk to you later. Bye.